Welcome to the Women Lead Worldwide series. My friend and I are honored to have a special guest today. Insiya Moosavi is with us, and we're really pleased to have her today. It would be awesome if you could start with kind of introducing yourself to the audience, and we could start from there.
All right, thank you so much. And yeah, it's really such a pleasure to be here with both of you today. My name is Insiya Fathima Moosavi, and I am a third-year undergraduate student studying medical sciences at the University of Western. And my honors specialization is in the interdisciplinary medical sciences. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a career in the healthcare field, inshallah.
What is your pathway which leads you to stay at this position? The position that is the leader, like in your community, in TMA, in anywhere.
Yeah, of course. So I guess speaking firstly from like an academic standpoint, I really kind of enjoyed my science classes in high school, and I knew that being kind of in the healthcare field, it would be important to have kind of people skills, but also a passion for science. And I felt that becoming a physician or becoming somewhere an allied health professional, that would help me kind of take those two interests and really combine them for a really fulfilling career. So that's kind of the academic part of it. But in terms of like my involvement in the community, I think it really gives me a lot of energy and a lot of it just like it makes me feel like I'm using my time in a very productive way when I'm helping those in the community. And to kind of take on these leadership positions, it's really such a humbling position, and just helping and the people that kind of allow me to be in these positions, like I am so grateful to them, because it allows me to kind of give back to the community and do things for them in kind of gratitude for everything they've done for me.
Yeah, actually, that's really important. I think you brought up a really important part of like giving back to the community. And I think that is like one thing that when we were thinking of putting this program together, we were like, how can we give back to our community and also, create role models for the newer generation, younger girls out there looking for role models. And yeah, that's incredible what you do. Can you like describe more about like your field of studies and also what you do at TMA?
Yeah, of course. So my kind of field of study, or like my focus of study right now, is interdisciplinary medical sciences, which is an honor specialization in the medical sciences program. And I think it's such a wholesome and kind of fulfilling program because it gives you such a wide overview of the medical sciences. Like you're not necessarily specializing in anything. So it's not like a physiology and pharmacology specialization or a biophysics specialization. It's more of like you're allowed to explore all of medical sciences as a whole, and explore the different ways in which we can understand disease, in which we can understand healthcare and medicine, which really is just like, I love it so much. It gives you such a strong foundational understanding of what it means to kind of help people in the healthcare world. And so that's kind of what I'm doing in terms of studying. But in terms of kind of community engagement, so I'm the president of the Thaqalain Muslim Association at Western, which is a Shia kind of student organization on campus to give Shia students on campus kind of a voice in the community, and to have a space where people are able to interact and network and meet other like-minded peers. And it's just, I feel like it is such an important organization to have at the university, considering how much in the minority Shia students are anywhere really, but especially at Western. So it is something that's really dear to my heart.
So perfect. So you mentioned that helping people in other fields like fulfilling for you, and also you mentioned that you are satisfying for because of like being the voice of minority in this community, and also like providing network for them. That is awesome. So personally, like as you as a Muslim female in leadership position, how do you describe success?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. And it really kind of, um, it's important that we kind of put in the work to redefine what success means to us, because a lot of the times in our societies and in our communities, the definition of success that's fed to us, it's very materialistic. A lot of the times it's a high paying job that's six figures, or like a very competitive professional program, or having the best house, having the best car. And it really puts so much pressure on the material aspect of success that it really takes away from the emotional and like spiritual well-being of society, right? Because you're going after, and you're running, and you're running, and you're running, and you're running after these things that don't really mean much, and at the end of the day you are not taking with you anywhere, right? So I think definitely success has to deviate away from that, to a more kind of holistic understanding of what it means to be a person who cares for their well-being, who has health, who has family, who has the support systems around them, so they're able to thrive and grow. And really success, there's no kind of endpoint to success, right? You can't just kind of come to a place in life where you say, okay, I'm done. Like, this is it. This is my peak. It's really about being a work in progress, right? So being somebody that's constantly improving and constantly striving towards self-betterment, I think that's success. Like, being in a place where you acknowledge that you have a lot to work on still, and that there are ways in which you can improve, and taking that understanding and actively applying it to your life, so that you are kind of manifesting these beautiful qualities of mercy and kindness and love for everyone around you. That to me is kind of real, that's real success.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love the description. I've read somewhere that, like, success is more of a journey rather than just a destination. And personally, I think, it's more about like that feeling fulfilled from your inner, and like being satisfied by what you do every day, and like less focus on how much money do I earn, or how many houses I have, or like what is my job. I think it's because, like, at some point I was really interested in pursuing some stuff that would make me feel happy and successful. And after like reading about how these people that I thought were successful were living every day, I was like, they don't seem really happy, to be honest. It's because I guess the point that you talked about, like the materialistic success. And I think, as you said, we should deviate from that. So I wanted to ask, what are some of the personality characteristics that you try to have or work on to make you successful and feel fulfilled?
Yeah, I think definitely what I said about understanding that you have a long way to go in terms of self-betterment is definitely one thing, because it puts you in a place where you're constantly working towards becoming the best version of yourself that you can be. And in that way, you're not competing with other people. Like, you're not trying to be better than other people. You're just trying to be better than who you were yesterday, right? And that's so much more important than trying to kind of like outcompete your peers or outcompete those around you. I think definitely that's one thing. I don't know if I have too many personal characteristics that make me good in any way, but I know that it's important to kind of keep strong support systems around you. Like, I know I am where I am because of the support I have from my parents and from my family and from my friends. So really important to kind of make sure that you have people who are kind of rooting for you around you, and who can keep you accountable and keep you motivated.
Okay, great. Like, great things that you mentioned, especially when you mentioned about like having a network and support system for yourself, is essentially, like, I'm in psychology program. I can say that this is 100% necessary for like being successful, because with all pressure in material world today, we'll all need someone who we can be ourselves around them, and the true version of ourselves. So the other thing that you mentioned is like the best of yourself from yesterday. This is another point. So we always want to mention that, like, I am better candidate than someone else in variety of situation. However, it is important to say and better than my yesterday from these perspective and these point of views. So great. What I'm going to asking you is, what are like some of the main challenges which you face with during the pathway of your goals?
Yeah, I think definitely one thing, and it doesn't just affect me, I think it affects a lot of people from like racialized backgrounds, is imposter syndrome, where you feel that you've kind of like tricked your way into the position that you're in, or the way where you feel like you don't deserve everything that you've accomplished, or if you are in a specific kind of program, or if you're in a specific job, or any professional program, you feel that you are an imposter, you don't really belong there, and you kind of have squeezed your way in, and you don't have the characteristics that qualify you for the position you're in. And a lot of it really does come from this kind of notion that like racialized people can't be successful, or they can't have these high-end positions or positions of leadership. And I think that's definitely something you struggle with, because once you've kind of started struggling with imposter syndrome, it adds up and it like comes in layers, and it really does affect your performance, wherein you're kind of, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like you feel like you're not qualified to belong there, so then you're not kind of performing to your best anymore, and then eventually you end up creating this kind of characteristic around yourself where you actually you actually aren't as qualified as you could be, right? So definitely trying to like get out of that mindset and understanding that you have worked hard for the opportunities that you've been given, and you are just as deserving of them as everyone else in the room. That's definitely a huge obstacle, and I see it a lot in my like peers and my friends as well.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask is like, is that because of environmental factors, or is that most because like idealistic personality? Which ones like have most effect on person?
Oh, I'm not sure. It might be like a combination, but I know a lot of it comes from the fact that you don't see a lot of people that look like you in high-end positions. So it's like, for example, like if a hijabi was to get into med school and she sees that there are no other hijabis in med school, it kind of, she starts feeling like, okay, maybe I've tricked my way into here. Maybe I don't really belong. Maybe I'm not really qualified, right? So that's definitely one cause of it, where you're not seeing people that look like you in these spaces, so you feel like you don't really belong.
Exactly. One of the goals of these projects, as we mentioned before, like is to represent the minority and represent the women as the half of population that are successful, who are successful and who are belonging to leadership position. So you are one of them. So yeah, thank you for being with us today. Our next question, I'm guessing Matin is going to asking you.
Yes. Before I dive into the next question, I think what Niyousha and also you said prior to that, representation really matters. And I think I've also had times to deal with like, do I really belong at UBC? Like, do I belong at the Science One program? Because I never saw anybody looking like me with my values, with my beliefs, working towards like similar goals. And it took a really long time for me to be able to find similar people and have to create, like, I have the support of my family, right? But I think that's not enough, because you want to also be able to engage with the community yourself, be part of the society, have friends, have people in your circle where they would support you. And for me, that was really hard to find at UBC. And I tried to, at some point I was like, maybe I should modify myself so that I can fit in. And I think that was something that I really struggled for a really long time with, because it was influencing my confidence. That's why I think talking to women like us, looking like us, with our beliefs, who are thriving, they have goals, they're working towards it, is really important. And thank you so much for bringing that up. So for the next question, I would like to ask you, if you could go back, would you choose the same path?
And if not, what would you change?
Oh, no, I think I definitely would have chosen the same path. I really love the program that I'm in, and I really love my professors, and I think they do such a amazing job at teaching and doing what they do. And I like my program. I like the friends that I've made along the way. So no, I definitely, and it's definitely a challenge being in medical sciences. It's not a very easy kind of easy peasy program, but it kind of has created who I am today, and all the struggles and all the challenges I've been through have also given me such beautiful blessings and such beautiful friends and support systems and all these experiences that I have had. So if I went back and changed it, sure, I would be going, sure, I would be kind of getting rid of the bad, but I would have I would be getting rid of all the good as well. So I think it's important to realize that even if you have things in the past that you don't necessarily love, it it all has kind of added and brought you to where you are today. So to go and to think that, oh, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that, is not always the most productive thing. It's important to kind of be grateful for where you are now and kind of move forward.
Exactly. I have the same problem that I always thought that I could do better. Like what I've done in the past, I have so many mistakes and so many positive things. So they're all combining together. You can get rid of the negative part and just have focus on the positive part. So, and the version you are now, like if you're a leader, if you're someone who represents a leader in a community, or you're a successful person in community, is just because you have that negative side of yourself that help you to overcome the issues that you have, the problem that you face with, and become the better version of yourself. Definitely. So the last question, final question, I want to ask you if you have any advice to share with a younger generation, what that be?
Yeah, I think I definitely, there's a lot you can say for this question, and I don't know how helpful my advice is, but if I could say one thing is to kind of practice more gratitude in your life. And I think I say this more to myself than to anybody else, but I felt like when I was younger, I did this kind of repetitive cycle of moving the finish line for myself. So I would be working towards a goal, but I would be so focused on achieving this goal in the future that I would not be grateful for where I am in that present moment. So for example, like in high school, I was always working towards university. Like I wanted to get into university. I was looking forward to university. Like all my energy was focused there, wherein I wasn't grateful for my high school experience, right? Like I wasn't enjoying my high school experience. I wasn't realizing that I was making a lot of great memories then. But as soon as I got to university, it was like, okay, now this is where I am. Now I'm looking forward to the next step. Right. So as soon as I accomplished something, and as soon as I was blessed with the thing that I was looking forward to, I would take the finish line and I would move it. So it was like I was always kind of looking forward to the next thing, working on the next thing, where I wasn't being grateful for where I am. And I didn't realize that the thing that I was praying for and I was hoping for and working towards for all those years, that's the position I am in right now, right? Like in high school, I was always looking forward to university. And it's like, I'm in university right now, and it's important that I'm grateful for it now, instead of focusing 100% of my energy on the next step, the next step, the next step, right? Because it's such an infinite kind of series of finish lines. Like it's never going to end. It's going to be like this till the rest of your life. So it's important to understand that loop and to pull yourself out of it, because it's such a vicious cycle. You're never going to be satisfied. It's part of the human nature where you're always going to want the next thing. And to understand that there is no kind of apex where you're finally going to be 100% satisfied and happy. It's important to kind of be grateful for the good and the bad right now. So I think once I kind of shifted that mindset, I really just like started enjoying life a lot more. And I wish I had done it sooner. So yeah, if I had to say anything to anyone younger than me, I would say that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's really important because, as you said, we all have like infinite amount of goals. And it's really important to, when you reach something, pause and like have that small celebration and actually enjoy it, because like we tend to forget that like life is more about, you know, these small celebrations and just enjoying the journey, rather than like success is like 3 steps ahead, let me just get there, like I would be happy I've reached that, because like it never ends, as you said. And also I think in the world that we're living right now with the role of social media, we tend to think like, oh my gosh, everybody is so ahead, what's happening right now, like why do I feel so behind from everyone? And just like not realizing that like real life is just like what we are living in, and this is like a reality that you have to work hard towards stuff, and when you get them, appreciate what you've reached and know that you've deserved it, rather than thinking, okay, what should be my next step? Not to not have plans for the future, but also to pause and give yourself time to enjoy the life you're living in right now. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are honored to have you. We hope the discussion we had inspires women and younger girls in particular. And again, thank you so much for being with us today, and wishing you all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.